Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association webinar series. And today we will be talking about quality of life in times of crisis. And together with us is Dr. Maria Lourdes Medina. But before we proceed with our webinar proper, again, I would like to present the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association. So the PGCA is the accredited integrated professional organization of the Philippine Regulations Commission for Guidance and Counseling, and as well as one of the PRC accredited continuing professional education or CPA provider. Before we were called or we were known as the Philippine Guidance and Personal Association. However, eventually it was changed to Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association. And this free webinar series is one of the commitments of the PGCA for our fellow counselors, as well as other helping professionals to promote mental health, and of course as part of our social responsibility. Now, the PGCA envisions that we will become the premier professional organization of counselors with international recognition, and it is our continuous vision, and we would like to not rest on our laurels, but to continue uh, to develop to become the premier professional organization. And of course, our mission, we commit to be in the forefront in the development of counselors who are professional, goal-driven, committed advocates, responsive to the needs of their clientele in the promotion of their well-being, to make them proactive contributors in the pursuit of just and humane society. Now, a short history of the PGCA. So in 1964, the late Father Jaime Bulatao and then Father Antonio Ledesma, now the Archbishop Emeritus of the Archdiocese of Cagayan de Oro, presented this idea of a professional organization of guidance workers just across the Katipunan to Dr. Esperanza Limcaco of UP. And after that, number of professionals gathered in response, and mostly these are guidance counselors, counselor educators, and guidance supervisors. Uh, as part of our continuing vision, so in April 1981, the PGCA became a member of the Western region of the American Counseling Association, and and we are privileged to be the only counseling association in Asia that is given this membership by the U.S. National Counseling Association. In 2018, the PGCA further forged partnership with the Australian Counseling Association and with the APACS, or the Association of Psychotherapists and Counselors Singapore. As of now, we are trying to seek mutual recognition agreements with other nations or other countries when it comes to our counselors. Then our activities, every May, usually we have the annual convention, and October our mid-year convention. However, due to this pandemic, we have to postpone it or cancel it indefinitely. And of course, we have continuing professional education programs and courses for our counselors. And we have research and publication. We are producing research journals. Then, of course, as part of our social responsibility, this free webinar series. And of course, we join the different activities of our partners, and of course the PRC. When it comes to partnership, right now we are in partnership with the National Center for Mental Health in their uh, uh, telehealth na hotline. So there are counselors from the PGCA that are receiving calls through the NCMH. And of course, right now we are trying to finalize our partnership with the Department of Education when it comes to the provision of mental health and psychosocial supports for our learners and even to the employees, to our educators. Especially, we are nearing the third week of August on the opening of classes. Of course, as the accredited integrated professional organization, under the umbrella of PGCA are the following national counseling organizations. So we have PACERS, EPCAP, SCC, IOTA-FI, APECA, CDAP, and FCGNAP Incorporated. And these are the members of the board for 2019 to 2020. And we are still on holdover capacity because of the pandemic. You can also join us and reach us through the different social media accounts. So of course we have the Facebook page, the PGCA official. You can reach us also or follow us on Twitter at official PGCA, and of course we are now live streamed via YouTube channel PGCA Philippine Counselor. Before we start, some friendly reminders to our participants and for previous participants. Now, for concerns regarding your certificates, again, please do email. You email this email address so that you can answer, our secretariat can answer them. I'm sorry for the, I think I missed one letter there. It should be PGCA certificate. Okay, my apologies for that. PGCA certificate at gmail.com. And again, this webinar is streamed via YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, PGCA Philippine Counselor, and it is a shared link in the PGCA official FB page. And we would like to thank also our sharers of this link. Okay. Before we start, may I request everyone, or may I invite you to a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father God, as we start this new day, we thank you for all the blessings, the graces that you have showered upon us. As we endure this pandemic, send forth your Spirit to sustain us, to keep us healthy, mentally and physically. Give us a heart, a big heart, to be kind and compassionate, especially to the least, our brothers and sisters. Motivate our hands to share and to reach out, especially to the least, the last, and the lost. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, good morning once again. So this morning we are being joined by our facilitator or our speaker, Dr. Maria Lourdes C. Medina. So, Doc Medina, known as we fondly known as Lulu, is one of the handful of the country's board certified expert in traumatic stress. Yes, I've only met two for BCETS, those with BCETS. One of that is my professor in University of St. LaSalle, Dr. Johnny De Catoria. So the second one I've met now is Doc Lulu. So Doc Lulu is a board certified expert in traumatic stress from the American Academy of Experts in Traumatic Stress, New York. And also has diplomate status in the same, as well as the National Center for Crisis Management, New York. So she is also listed in the International Registry of Expert Witness in the above international organizations. So Lulu is one of the few advanced eye movement desensitization and reprocessing or EMDR therapists in the country. She was one of the pioneers and subsequently sat as director or consultant of the UST Graduate School Psychotrauma Clinic. So during her 3-year term, the clinic garnered a yearly award for excellent community service and ultimately bagged the Hall of Fame award during the University Faculty Recognition Celebration Dangal ng UST Awards. Lulu is an associate professor of the Graduate School of UST and the St. Scholastica College, where she teaches in masteral and doctoral programs, psychology, and guidance and counseling clusters. So she earned her PhD from UST and MA from Ateneo de Manila University, and a professional diploma from the Center of Family Ministry, or CFAM. She also holds a certification as an acupuncture detoxification specialist. And of course, she is a registered guidance counselor. So Lulu was elected board member of EMDR Asia in its first EMDR Asian conference held in Bali, Indonesia. And she was one of the pillars of the psychotrauma work in the country and a founding member and program coordinator of the Porta Celli Center for Pastoral Counseling and Psychotrauma Management. So St. Scholastica's College Graduate School, or Hope CCC, which was her brainchild and currently serves as consultant and case manager. She is a consultant, a trainer for some NGOs for sexually abused children all over the country, and also to various schools creating and implementing programs in addressing bullying, parenting styles, teacher trainings for mental health awareness of their students, and as a preventive strategy to spot students with psychological issues that may lead them to anxiety, depression, and even suicide. Now, of course, as president of EMDR Philippines since 2011, uh, she also leads to be, or she had been the lead debriefer of the EMDR therapist for victims of various traumatic events, just like, for example, during the Glorieta bombing, Surrender tragedy, Zamboanga siege, Marawi siege, and many more. So as a recent cancer survivor, she's now conducting workshops for others afflicted with the same, along with their family members and caregivers, and which a goal which to the better understanding, coping, and accepting and developing self-efficacy and grit, of course, towards positivity for a new mindset and make their cancer journey meaningful, not only for them, but also for others. So it is her simple way of paying it forward for her new list in life. So with that, we would like to welcome Dr. Lourdes, Maria Lourdes Lulu C. Medina.
Thank you
Ma'am
so
Lulu.
much. Yeah, thank you so much, Francis, for that very kind introduction. So now I have to earn that, to earn all of that. So as I was always saying, whenever I give a talk, I would want that this kind of introduction be given in the last, so that I have to earn it first. But then, thank you for the invite. Doc Chris Hernandez actually invited me, and how can I say no to PGCA? Of course, I cannot. And you are right. I have a new lease in life. So this is an advocacy for me. So you invite me here and there, and whatever I can share in terms of skills and positivity, I will do that. Okay. So I think what is important at this point to add, Francis, and to all our participants here, uso na kasi ngayon, no? Now it is very predominant regarding the telecounseling or telepsychology. So therefore, I'm actually very active right now with telepsychology, working with EP, and then we have Ontiveros, and then we have CML Mindwell. Then we also have well-being. So because this pandemic and this mental health issues would be with us for the next 3 to 5 years. Actually, this is the new pandemic, the mental health issues that will arise. And at this point, this is all about you, guidance counselors or mental health practitioners, professionals, workers, whatever they may call us. But the passion that we have, to better our craft, we never stop. We keep on studying, we keep on many years in order to earn our degree. And not only that, to develop also this compassion for everyone. So we are all professionals. So never allow anyone to tell you any less. So I'm very happy to be with you today. Right now, the focus right now is you and me as counselors, as mental health practitioners. That is why I opted to give this title of my talk on the quality of life. So as I start, I'd like to do a screen share. And let's start with our, okay, let's go into PowerPoint. Right, quality of life. Now, when we talk about quality of life, especially in this time of crisis, it's very difficult actually to talk about it, isn't it? But what I will do now is give a little backgrounder, how we can maintain this quality of life, this life that we are given, despite so many deaths and so many COVID patients all over the world. But you and me, we are still alive. So that is something we have to be thankful for. So let us maintain this quality of life that we have at the moment. Other than this one, a little backgrounder, I'm also going to share with you and teach you and allow you to experience very new techniques of stabilization and some processing. These are new. One was developed only in this year, and the other was on 2014, and the other one is 2018. So just to keep you updated and to make our lives as mental health practitioners less hassle, less worrisome, because we are very prone. I'm very sure we are very prone to illnesses, right? And other mental health issues also. Now, because of this pandemic, we are all, shall I say, experiencing a collective and cumulative isolation. If I'm not mistaken, we're now in the 100 days or a little more. So that's not easy, isn't it? So our lives were put on hold, if I may say so. And there's a lot of uncertainties. So for us, we have to maintain this quality of life because we need to extend and help others. That is why the role that we play right now is not easy. That's why I'm very happy that these free webinars by PGCA, and there's so many others that are giving free webinars, not only for self-care, but also in enhancing of our skills. So this can all make ourselves do better with our craft. Now, we are now invisible frontliners. I hope you would agree with that. But we may be invisible, but we are very valuable in the lives of others. Now, why immune system? Why did I come up on sharing with you how important is the immune system in us right now? Now, since we are cooped up at home, cumulatively, collectively, with no exception, 100 days or more. So the best, in my opinion, the best tool or defense that we can have for COVID-19 symptoms would be to take care of our immune system. Right? Now, why? Now, the immune system is actually a very complex network of cells and proteins, and it is the one that defends our body against infection. Now, of course, we do not know very much about COVID-19 yet, right? But now there's a lot of researches saying this and that. But what is important right now is that it still is very rampant, and so it affects our body, it affects our immune system. So the best defense is to take care of our immune system. Now, the immune system, it fights infections. And what is good that we should be happy about, the good news is it keeps a record. You know, our immune system keeps a record of all the germs, all the microbes that it has already encountered or defeated. Now, because it is recorded, every time that we catch it or it comes close to us, it easily recognizes it and destroys it as it enters our body. So that's how important it is. Now, the thing is, because we are counselors, mental health professionals, we're exposed to a lot of disasters, a lot of crises. Now, does this exposure weaken our immune system? Definitely it does, right? Now, there are two things that can weaken our immune system. I would like you to be aware of this. First, of course, is medical. Now, don't talk about medical. Like for me, I had cancer, but I'm a survivor. So therefore, I know how important immune system is. Now, the other is psychological. Now, if you have an illness like what I had, which is cancer, it's not only medical, it's also psychological. Now, let's focus on the pandemic. Let's focus on the COVID-19 symptoms. It is some of which may be medical, and most of it would be psychological. You know, what weakens our immune system? I'm sure you're aware of that. You have stress. And if you don't deal with the stress, it would escalate into anxiety, perhaps even depression. And for us, it's easily for us to go into fatigue. And there's a lot of fears right now, a lot of sadness going on, loneliness, and even boredom. That's why kids and so many are now addicted to this, to the computer, to the laptop. And it can escalate into a pathological issue, right? Now, what we must be aware of is, okay, all of this would be coming in, these psychological symptoms of COVID-19. And I think they're pretty normal in a sense that if it's more than 100 days, you're isolated or quarantined, of course, we would develop this. But we must be aware as mental health professionals that this would not escalate or develop into something which is chronic, right? Because if it is going to become chronic, the next step is that we tend to catastrophize, meaning just a tiny bit of news, then we say, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. In your area, if you hear that maybe a street or a block from your place, someone has a COVID, now you panic, right? So everything now is catastrophized. Every little thing becomes a huge thing. At least we are mindful of that it should not develop into that kind of mental attitude. And how do we go about that? It is, of course, coping. And I'm sure a lot of you had already attended a lot of these webinars for coping. And let us make use of that. And the other, of course, is to take care of our well-being. Now, of course, well-being is not easy, right? It entails a lot of factors. Well-being resulting in positivity, resulting in happiness. Sabi nga ni Seligman, he gave us a formula, right? And if you are aware of that, make use of that formula. But of course, to discuss that now would take us maybe 2 or 3 hours. So I'm not going to touch on that. But I would just like to say that for it not to develop into having a catastrophic attitude is for us to better our coping, improve the coping, and to also to be aware or mindful of our well-being. Now, what does that show? If the immune system is that vital in defending ourselves against this COVID-19 psychological symptoms, then it only tells us that there is a mind, body, and spirit code. Meron siyang code. So a code meaning it's a whole system. In a system, if one is affected, then all the rest would be affected. We cannot separate one from the other. We are so designed. God has so designed this body of ours. There is a mechanism that we can actually bear trauma. At the same time, we can heal ourselves. You know, there's a very simple technique in the breakthrough therapy which I'm using, EMDR. You know what the secret is of penetrating or making a breakthrough so that we can release these negative energies and release these blocks in the body, which affects the immune system. It's very simple. It's called bilateral stimulation, or in simple terms, tapping, just merely by tapping the body. But there is a technique you can have. You can do a slow tapping and you can do fast tapping. And I'm going to allow you, and you will experience that as we go along. Now, what is very important also would be the spleen. Now, why am I focusing on the spleen, as you can see here on the slide? Because the spleen is the one that filters, recycles all our red blood cells, and it also stores our platelets and the white blood cells. And you know what the white blood cells does, right? They are the fighters, they're the soldiers. So we always say that. Yan yung sundalo, yan yung pang-away sa infection. So we need to take care of our spleen, or else all of this system that you're looking at would be disrupted. Now, ang question is, how do we take care of our spleen? You know, the spleen is damaged by worry and anxiety. So right now, you can ask yourself, am I always worried? Am I having anxiety? Then if your answer to both is a yes, then the spleen is affected. The spleen is damaged. And once the spleen is damaged, the whole system is affected. Your immune system is affected. So that's how important the spleen is. Okay, now how do we take care of that? Now, from all the webinars that we have also conducted, an expert on public health like Dr. Susie Mercado, and you always see her on webinars and maybe on TV, would be, sabi niya, you know, actually our problem is not the COVID-19, but it's fear and ignorance. If we are able to handle the fears and also educate everyone and not be ignorant of what it is really all about and how to take care of ourselves, then we are actually going to beat COVID-19 symptoms. It may sound simple, but I guess you can ask yourselves, am I having a lot of fears because of all of these uncertainties? And which causes you, are you ignorant about COVID-19? Natatransmit ba talaga ito if you're asymptomatic? Now there's a lot of research saying if you're asymptomatic, you don't transmit it. It's now not 14 days of quarantine, but only 10 days. There's a lot of information. So we have to sort out this information because we need to keep ourselves informed so that the fears would be lessened. Because this is the real enemy. She was saying fear and ignorance. Okay, so let us take a look at this because all our old former routine was all disrupted. Of course, that makes our lives actually, we would be anxious about it, right? Now, there has been a lot of community quarantines. I just listed down here, you have social distancing. Now it's supposed to be physical distancing because you cannot socially distance yourself because you have to keep yourselves connected, right? Now we have ECQ, EECQ, CCQ, all the CQs. I don't know in your particular area what CQ you have right now. And of course, the lockdown. If we have been under this cumulatively and collectively, hindi lang tayo hindi lang nag-iisa, hindi lang isang community, it's entire The entire barangay, the entire community, the entire world is actually going through this. And in a webinar in Italy, you know the cases in Italy, right? This came out as dominant psychological symptoms or conditions. Boredom, then they can't already discern reality from virtual life. Frustrations, hyperconnectedness, which can be pathological. Imagine if you're hyperconnected because that's the only way you can be connected socially. And there's also economic issues, acute stress, mood disorders, insomnia, depression, anxiety, eating disorders. Of course, if you lock up at home and all you do is eat, right? And then you have lack of basic needs, medicines, and information. Now, the World Health has recently announced that the number of suicides is actually multiplied or tripled. Even the UNICEF had also reported recently the number of domestic violence and the abuses against children has actually tripled. So as counselors, as mental health practitioners, we have a lot of where our hands are full. You know, this is how important we are at the moment. Now, because of all of those conditions, David Grant is an expert EMDR therapist. He had stated that what is in the brain is in the body, and what's in the body is in the brain, right? Okay, and as you can see here, look at the colors of each particular emotion. It affects the entire body. That is just the point of this particular slide. So what happens? Because we're exposed to all of this, most people now just go into what we call a survivor loop. And I'm sure you are all familiar with this. So it is a simple loop. It is like looping and looping, going around and not really getting out of it, and you get stuck. And this stuckness causes a lot of chronic illnesses, a lot of chronic psychological conditions. And, you know, I just wanted to show you how these chronic conditions can affect so many people. And all of these are going to be our clients or our patients. That is why we need to prepare. Now, may hugot ako dito eh. So I know that as counselors, you know, academically we prepare, we study many years, and because we want to better our craft. So always remember, never allow anyone to tell you you are just a counselor, you know, because you are a professional. We are professionals, and we are badly needed right now, and we are going to share. You are going to share all the skills that you have. That is how professional we are. Sometimes we forget our own personal issues, right? We set it aside because we would want to help others heal. But remember, you have to heal yourself first. You cannot do trauma work. You will not be able to extend help to others if you are not mentally, psychologically, and emotionally sound. Okay. Why? What happens to us? Perhaps most of you are already having this condition. Okay. Look, burnout. Okay, ask yourself. And then plus secondary trauma or vicarious trauma, not directly you experiencing it, but you hear a lot from your patient about their traumatic experience or their negative experience or the abuses they suffered. Then that would lead to compassion fatigue. So be aware. We need to be aware. Am I having compassion fatigue? If the answer is yes, then you have to do something about it. Now, in relations to immune system, we can boost the immune system. You know how? And not lead into burnout and then compassion fatigue. Because if you don't, or we don't, then a lot of us, or even our clients, our friends, family members, can actually be suffering. A lot are going through grief. Right? Now, is grief really a negative experience? Is it really considered to be a bad experience? Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the stages of grief, but I'm not going to talk about that. I would like to see grief as part of growth, because try to reflect, try to look into yourselves. What experience did you have whereby you suffered, whereby you endured grief, whereby you went through grief? Because we need to grieve. If something happens to us, grieving is important. We cannot be avoidant. We have actually to be in touch with the grief. Why? Because if you look back, just one grieving experience of your own in your life, did you come out a better person? Did you come out with better coping? Did you come up with a more sound or reasonable look at things? So in grief, actually, the what is planted as we go through grief is the wisdom and enlightenment. It is planted during the time that we are grieving. So therefore, we do not look at it anymore as a loss, but we look at it as a time for growth. That may sound easy, but if you relate to your own experience, then you would be able to understand what I'm talking about. Now, when I had cancer, when the doctor told me, okay, you have cancer stage 2A, you need to have mastectomy. Okay, so what was my initial reaction? Am I going to grieve that I have this condition? Now, of course, I thank my parents for a beautiful and happy childhood. I thank my family for support and love. So it never crossed my mind that I should be grieving, but look at my condition as a way for me to be a better person, to deal with it, not get stuck, so that I would be able to share an advocacy that we can take care of ourselves. We must not be dominated by fear, but we must always be hopeful. So it was a growth for me. Actually, even this pandemic, I became even more busy. You know, I even tapped more of my creativity. I learned a lot of stuff. I learned how to do webinars. I learned about the computer. I learned about infographics. So it was all growth experiences. That is why we need to share. Okay, self-care. This has been a topic for many, many times, right? I'm just trying to create or try to install this again because you might have forgotten it. Now, I know that you have a lot of knowledge, stock knowledge and understanding, and perhaps you can use all these skills now. If you have not had that experience, because no face-to-face, it's all online, but the online is also a good way of sharing your skills and helping others. You can only care for others if you do self-care. I know you know a lot of techniques about this, but there are a few points which I would like you to be mindful about. Okay, do you know that the neurotransmitters actually rule our lives? It's all about neurotransmitters. But of course, I'm not going to discuss all of this. I will only focus on 5 important ones. Okay. Now look, if you do self-care, you can do this. This is about us. We have the endorphins, make use of it, and the dopamine. All you have to do, as I said, because what we have is a system. The body, God so designed or gifted us with a body that it has its own mechanism to heal ourselves. All we have to do is tap, right? How do you tap? Literally tapping. I will demonstrate that in the next few slides. How do we tap at the endorphins? How do we tap the dopamine? Of course, I just try to give a little description here, but I know you know all of this, right? The endorphins would be like a mask so that we can endure the pain. We can be euphoric, it's our own body's opiate. There's no need for you to go to the drugstore and buy this or take into alcohol or do all of these crazy things that people are doing. We have it in ourselves. All we have to do is tap, and there are no side effects along with dopamine. So endorphins and dopamine is about us. It's for the self, for ourselves feeling happy, ourselves feeling good by doing this. Now, we have 3, which is serotonin, oxytocin, and cortisol. This would be for others. Now, during these times, a lot of us are helping others through counseling, online, telepsychology, whatever you're doing. You are extending a part of yourself to others. You are making others feel better about themselves. You're helping them take control of their own lives. That is production of serotonin. Now, the same with oxytocin. I have a lot of friends. What they do now is they pack sandwiches, they pack food, they distribute it to all hospitals, to our mental health professionals. And I ask them, what do you get by doing this? And the answers would be the same. It is unexplainable. We cannot explain how we feel, but it is a very good feeling. That is oxytocin, because it is about loving others, not only yourself. Now, cortisol was given a bad name. No, we have labeled it as something bad, a bad hormone. It's so unfair for the cortisol because, I don't think we will be able to wake up with full of energy and to have the drive, the passion, being daring to do something if we did not have cortisol. What is only important is the cortisol must be controlled. It must be regulated. So these are the 5 neurotransmitters which would help us, or you and me, boost our immune system. And there is no expense here. You can do this by simply eating the right kind of food, sleeping the right number of hours, keeping yourself emotionally regulated or stable. And this can all be done by a simple technique, as I said, which is, we call it in EMDR as bilateral stimulation, but in common colloquium or language, we say tapping. Simply tap yourself. I'm sure you see Willie Ong, si Doc, yung mga alternative, they have shown this, a lot of it, demonstrating what part of the body we can tap. You see? No medications needed, no side effects, and you can do it anytime you want. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Now, so that means we need a balance, right? We need a balance. I will teach you now, right? Okay, are you ready? Let us start. At this point, I would like you to have a piece of paper, a bond paper, and a pencil or ball pen. Okay. I will teach you a new technique which you can use for yourself, for your family, community, and your clients. Oh, excuse me. Okay, you have it now. I hope so. Just a piece, bond paper would do, and a pencil or ball pen. We shall be using that in a while. Okay. All right, now this is the tapping that I was talking about, or the bilateral stimulation. As you can see, all you have to do, we call it butterfly hug. Right? As you can see on the slide, all you have to do is put your two thumbs together and you have your hands feel like this, like a butterfly, like the wings of the butterfly. And what you need to do, this one is you can put them on your chest like this, and you can tap this way. Right? Now, you may say, really? By doing that, by tapping, something is going to happen? Yes. Proven, research-based. Okay, you can do this by tap like this, like the wings of the butterfly, slowly. As I said, it can be slow. And at some point, it can be fast this way. Or you can extend the hug and you can hug yourself. I will show it. You can hug yourself like this, hugging and tap. Now, when you tap, it is like an art. It is an art, and at the same time, it is a science. It can be slow and then accompanied by slow breathing. See, like this. And if I give the instruction, okay, tap fast, then you need to tap fast like this, alternately. Okay, that is how simple it is. I hope everyone got that, because this is very important. Then in the next slide, we are going to be using the butterfly hug, or the tapping, or the BLS, as we call it in EMDR. Okay, ready? Okay. Now, this is what I will allow you now to experience. I'm going to stabilize you so that when we go to the other technique, which I will be teaching you, you are already, shall I say, ready for it. Okay? This is called the immediate stabilization protocol or procedure. This was developed by Gary Quinn, who is a psychiatrist and the president of EMDR in Israel. In Israel, they have a lot of traumatic experiences, so they keep themselves abreast with how to stabilize themselves. If you are going to benefit from this ISP, or immediate stabilization protocol or procedure, that I will do right now, and all you have to do is follow my instructions. If you benefit from it and you are very much interested, you can just let me know, or let PGCA know. I can send actually the PowerPoint that I prepared. Right? I'll show that to you in a while. I'll show it to you, and then we will do it. Because I believe that it's not just a matter of lecturing, or these are just words. They will stay as words in our memory, not unless I experience it and there is an emotional connection to what I did, that my amygdala would record, oh, that was good. I benefited from that. I was relaxed. It's just by simple tapping. Then I will remember. So this is the first thing that I'm gonna share with you. Now the pencil on the paper, you need that for the next one, not this one. In this one, immediate stabilization protocol, all you have to do is listen to my instructions. Listen to what I'm gonna say and follow. Okay, I'm going to share with you first the PowerPoint, so at least you know what I'm talking about. But then, you know, you cannot do two things at the same time or three things at the same time. Look at the PowerPoint, do it, then focus on your mental stabilization technique. Of course, we can do that. Our mind can focus only when it is relaxed and one focus at a time. But I just want to allow you to view. Okay, so this is it. Okay, just look, you go through it first. Okay, so this is a summary. I have summarized it so that it will be easier for you to implement it or to use it. Okay, now this one, I just want to go back. When I prepared this for our telepsychology or telecounseling at CML Mindwell. That is why some of the slides here, there are names that you're going to see because we have created a spiel. So you just don't mind that, right? Because it was addressed to them. I didn't have the time to change it. Okay, what is the main goal of this immediate stabilization protocol? The main goal is reduction of symptoms. That's it. Because when somebody calls or somebody talks to you, you don't do a therapy, you don't do a debriefing, you don't do a PFA, you just talk, right? But then this kind of talking is one which is scientific, and the main purpose is reduction of symptoms. And once you have reduced the symptoms, what happens would be the person becomes calm and would be feeling safe. So you can move on to the next, whatever is the treatment plan that you're going to do. Okay. That's the goal. So the process, it's called ISP. Well, as you can see there, follow the opening spiel. I was addressing them here. This is how it's done. And this is a short version. Now, once you are used to this, you can be creative and use as much knowledge and skills you have as needed by your caller or your student or your client. Okay. And of course, just like any other session of therapy or any other conversation, we gather. I think, can we unmute the, I think, I think someone unmuted themselves. It's creating a disturbance. Okay, now, as in any other conversation, first, of course, we gather information, right? When you're talking with someone, how can you help someone if you don't even ask? So what you say is, tell me about it, tell me the story, what happened? Be a very active listener and take note of the content. You do not lose focus on the content. Sometimes as mental health practitioners, nauna ba tayong umiyak, you know? So we focus on the content and we can write it down. And also at this point, they will be mentioning all their positive or negative words. So you write this down because you will use them. And I'm going to show you a grid to how to take down notes on the content easily, not in too many words. In EMDR, we call it TISIS. I'll show you what that means there. The T is the event, what happened. I is the image that they narrated in the story. And C would be the negative cognition or negative self-belief, which your client had mentioned. And E would be the negative emotions that go with that. And first S is body scan. So where do they feel all of this in their body? And the next S is you can ask, how disturbing is it for you now? From 0, which is no disturbance, or to 10, which is maximum. See, by just writing down this grid, you can just fill in the content of the story. And that is all that you need. Okay. So now that you have the story, now that you have the thesis, you can prepare them. You need to prepare. So how do you prepare them? So you tell them about the approach that you're going to use. That this approach or this technique that you'll be using is to reduce the symptoms, and that it has helped a lot, and that you assure them that it will be of help to your client. And then talk about tapping. Mention the word tapping. You don't even have to say BLS. They might not, it might confuse them. Also, well, tapping is relatively a common word, so you can use that. Okay. And as I said, you can do the tapping either on the chest with a butterfly hug, or you can hug yourself on the forearm. And you can demonstrate it, because right now it's online, right? No face to face, as I did the demo to you earlier. So the demo, the tapping would be slow. For ISP, for preparation, it's always slow until they feel better. Now, you're going to start to stabilize. But before you start stabilizing, you have to explain a little or do a little psycho-ed. If you have a script on doing this, then you can come up with that. Now, what is important there when you prepare them is to use the term natural. Try to avoid the term normal, because the opposite of normal is abnormal, which does not have a good, good meaning for many people. So you can say, you know what you're feeling right now, being 100 days or more, isolated or quarantined, so many uncertainties, then it is natural not to feel this way. Okay? But you can also give them hope and assurance that our body has the natural mechanism to reduce this stress. That is very important to hear when you are in distress or you are anxious. It's very reassuring. Okay, now we start stabilization. You tell them to sit comfortably, because you know you can tap on your chest, on your forearm, or on your knees. Pwede rin. As long as it is alternate. Left, right, left, right. As they do deep breaths. Do deep breathing, maybe 5 times, 7 times, it depends. Try to look at your client. If they are already relaxed and focus on the breathing, then that's fine. Or you can do what we call the double breathing. Meaning inhale 1, 2, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale until 8. It's always double the exhaling. Now, ask them if they're already relaxed, and if they say yes, then you install a positive cognition and do it slowly. If they say, I am okay as I am safe, that's a positive cognition, right? So you let them do the tapping slowly. You guide them at first, especially if there's no virtual But just by phone, you have to be sure that they follow your instructions. At the most, at the start, you can do 10 taps. If needed, you can do more. And you can do more. Now, let's say the disturbance was 7/10. As they did the tapping, then you can ask, so how disturbed are you right now at this point? If they say 6, then you can continue still with the tapping slowly. Then you can ask, now how disturbing is it for you now? If they say 4 on first try, that's good enough. Good job for you. But you can make it lower if you want by continuing the tapping slowly. Slowly. Okay? And at this point, you were able to reduce the symptoms. And that was the goal of ISP. You have achieved your goal. And maybe you can give them a homework that every time they feel, they should know their body, it coming, just do the tapping. Exactly how you did it. Okay, I hope that I was able to, now we're going to do it. Minimize this. Okay, are you ready? I'm just checking the time because I need to do the other one, 11:09. Okay, let's go. Are you ready? Let me see. I'll try to check where's the chat in here? So I can see either how you're responding. Francis, are you there? Are you still with us? Where would be the, I can't see the chat. Anyway, okay, let's do it then. Please sit comfortably. Sit comfortably. Comfortable sitting means your 2 feet must be on the ground and your back is straight. Do not allow it to lean towards anything at the back. Just keep it straight so that the energy can flow through the back, because that is where the energy will go in. 1 point. Okay, now follow my instructions, please. Because I want you to experience the stabilization, especially if you are at the moment a bit anxious or stressed or worried. Okay, because you need to experience this so you will be able to share it with others. Okay, let's start. Follow my instructions, please. I'd like, as you do the deep breathing, look at me first because I will let you close your eyes after a while. As you inhale, you raise your hand like this, okay? Inhale. And when you exhale, put it down this way, slowly, right? Very slowly, artistically. Again, inhale. And exhale, slowly moving down your arms. We're going to do this 3 times. I just demonstrated it. Okay, now we can start. Inhale. Exhale slowly, putting down your arms. Again, inhale. And exhale slowly. Very good. One more time. Inhale. And exhale slowly. Keep your eyes closed. Now, position your hands either if you want the butterfly hug, like a butterfly and put it on your chest, or you can hug yourself. And then we're going to start tapping, whichever you prefer. Okay, I will do the counting at first, and then you follow the rhythm. Okay, are you hugging yourself now? Very good. I'd like you to start tapping left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Continue tapping until I tell you to stop. Okay, close your eyes. Now mentally, I'd like you to visualize yourself. Try to look at yourself. Look at yourself. What would you like to tell yourself right now that can help you overcome or release all this, the worries that you're having right now? Whatever worry, whatever stress you out, whatever anxiety you have, put that on the side, put that at the back of your head. And now look at yourself. What would you like to tell yourself now? Something really positive that brings out a positive sensation. It may be, you have to claim it. You can say, I am good enough. I did my best. I'm okay as I am. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I'm trustworthy. I'm worthy. Whatever it may be. Please look at yourself. Continue tapping slowly, and repeat those words mentally. You may also say them verbally.
I am good enough.
Okay, you please unmute
I
yourself.
am
So
trustworthy.
kindly unmute yourself so the others will not be disturbed. Okay, tap yourself. Tap slowly. Tap slowly. Continue. Continue looking at yourself and tapping. Now, Francis, can you please remind the participant to unmute themselves? Okay, now look at yourself now. After tapping slowly and saying all these positive words that you want for yourself, claiming it, do you notice anything in the image that you're looking at? For some, at first, they might be, sad or frowning. But as I did the tapping and saying all the positive cognitions, positive words, they start smiling. And look at around you. You have people who love you, maybe hugging you, telling you they're there for you. It may be your family, your husband, your wife, your kids, your grandkids, your parents, your partner, your siblings, your friends. They are there for you. All of them. Look at them surrounding you, smiling on you, and telling you, we are here for you. That you are loved. We're always here. Continue tapping slowly. Tapping slowly. Now, if you see that the image of yourself is very positive, smiling, take note of the sensation that you feel. Are you now breathing in a relaxed way? Do you feel relaxed and calm? And there is stillness. Savor that. There is this white light on top of your head. This is the light of relaxation, the light of enlightenment, the light of freedom, the light of safety, and the light of security. So this light is running down your head, down to your face, to your arms. Continue tapping to your body, down to your legs. Your whole body is now encircled. You are in this bubble, white bubble. You are safe. You are secure. You are loved. You are connected. You are safe. Now, slowly, slowly open your arms, put down your hands, look up, try to have a look, last look at yourselves, feeling loved, cared for, feeling important, feeling significant, because you are significant. You are God's child. You are loved. Take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale slowly. Very good. One more time. Inhale and exhale slowly. And open your eyes slowly at the count of 5. Open slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, you are now ready for the next technique, which I'm going to teach you. All right. So what happened was, I have stabilized you. You went to your safe place. You went to your sacred place. You were with people you love. And so you are now calm and relaxed and stable. So if I were to ask you at the beginning, whereby you had anxiety or stress or worried, I don't know what number you you are at the beginning, maybe a 5/10, a 4/10, a 6, a 9, a 10/10. But right now you can check yourself. Where are you now? If you were able to go down to 4/10, very good, right? If not, you can continue that. And you can do it to yourself until it goes down to 0. Good, very good. Okay, now, please put out your pencil and the paper. 11:20. Let me see. May I ask before I proceed with the next one? Francis, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, Doc.
Francis, the time is 11:21. I'd like to do the IGTP, but I'm not sure if I would have the time. Is there time here for question and answer, or I can just use up all the time?
Yeah, we can have siguro, Doc, mga 2 to 3 questions after 12.
Sige. I'll try to see if we can finish. Yeah, I can do this IGTP in that time. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Francis.
You're welcome, po, Doc.
Okay, let's proceed then. So, do you have your paper and pencil with you? Here. Now, this is called Integrative Group Treatment Protocol, or IGTP. These are the originators, they're all from Mexico. And this has been used all over the world and very effective. So there's one for children, which is simpler, and there's one for adults. But this one that we will be doing would be for adults. I don't think there will be kids in here, right? Now, what you have to do, I'm going to give you a copy of this. You don't have to copy it. I just want you to put 4 quadrants in your paper. So this, the one that I'm pointing at, this would be, let's say, drawing 1. You see it here, D1. Then on the opposite side, label it as D2. And then below D1, below D3. And below D2, we have D4. D simply means drawing. Now, even as adults, some would say, but I don't know how to draw, Doc. I would always say, this is not a contest for drawing. As long as you understand and the drawing that you did has a meaning for you, that's good enough. Okay, and then you have a small circle here for D2 and a small circle down here for D4. Of course, these are the instructions. I'll be the one to do this. All you have to do is follow so you don't get distracted. Is everyone ready? Because we only have about 30 minutes or 35 minutes. What I would want you to come up with would be not really let's say a big trauma. Come up only with a minor incident so it can easily be processed, right? Because if it's going to be a real heavy trauma, then we might not finish in 30 or 35 minutes because we need to have time for 2 or 3 questions. Okay, let's start. D1. Now, this is what you need to follow. Is everyone in D1 now? Okay, this is called the safe place. Okay, draw your safe place there. If your safe place would be your room or the chapel or the garden, wherever it may be, please draw it there. Now, this is your safe place. This is your sacred space. And as you draw that safe place, on one side of it, please write down all the positive emotions that you feel whenever you are in this safe place. Okay? Write down all the positive feelings and emotions and the good memory that you have about this place. Write them down. You know, is it peaceful? Do you feel love? Do you feel so calm, safe, secure? Write them down there. Okay, done? I will proceed now, all right? Okay, now, look at your drawing. Put down your pencil or pen. Look at your drawing. That is your safe place. That is your sacred space. You can be comfortable. You can be who you are. You are not going to be judged. No biases, no prejudices from anyone. You are just you. Comfortable, accepted, and belong. Okay, look at your drawing and look at the words that you've written down. Remember these words that you've written down. Put them in your memory and follow my instructions. Hug yourself. Let's do the butterfly hug. Hug yourself now. And tap yourself slowly. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Please look at the image, look at the drawing, keep your eyes closed and keep tapping slowly. Keep tapping slowly. In your mind's eye, look at the drawing that you did and look at the words. All the positive beautiful words that you've written down. And take note of the sensation that you're feeling. Take note of the sensation. What do you feel? What a positive emotion do you feel? And where do you feel this in your body? Take note. Some may be feeling it on their head, some on their chest or heart, some on their stomach maybe, some on their legs. It depends. And some may be feeling it in the entire body. Okay. Look at the drawing. Mentally look at it. This is your sacred space. You will not be disturbed here. You are safe and secure. You can be yourself. Take note of all the positive emotions and the positive sensations. Continue tapping and where you feel this in your body. So by doing the tapping and looking at, in your mind's eye, looking at the safe place with a safe person, people you love, and all the positive words and sensation, we have installed this in your memory. So that when we go to D2, which is the unpleasant memory, and you feel like you are feeling distressed and you want to stop, you can stop and you are going to go to the drawing 1. So you can again be stable. Okay, but I want to be sure that you are stable. Okay, by this time, I think everyone would be stabilized now. Very good. Okay, now let's go to D2. D2, open your eyes. I'm trying to, here's D2. There's a small circle there. As I have said, please kindly just work or process a memory, unpleasant memory, not a big trauma, just something unpleasant, okay? Because you might not have the time to process it. Okay, draw it there. Please draw that unpleasant experience. Wag heavy ha, minor lang. Para makita nyo lang how effective it is, because although it, of course, it's very effective in processing trauma, really. But as I said, that time does not allow us to do that. Okay, unpleasant. Draw it there. May nakaaway ka ba? May traffic ba? I don't know. Draw it. Now, after you've drawn it, on the one side, write down the negative words. Were you angry? Was there anger? Was there frustration? Was there disappointment? Write them down there on the right side. On right. Okay. Now, if you've written them down, look at your unpleasant, the drawing of your unpleasant memory or whatever it symbolizes. And look at those negative words. And inside the circle, please put the number. How disturbing is it for you as you look at this from 0 to 10? Write it down there. Is it 5/10? Is it 6/10? 7/10? I don't know. Write it down in this circle. Good. Okay. We've written it down. Let's now proceed. Now, again, follow my instructions. Close your eyes. But this time, the tapping that you will do is fast. It's not slow, but really fast. All right? Okay, close your eyes now. Tap. Tap really, really, really fast. Do not stop until I tell you so. Okay? Now, there might be some disturbing images there. That is normal. Because what you're doing, as you look at your drawing 2, the unpleasant memory, the unpleasant drawing, and those negative words, and you do a fast tapping, you're accessing the memory, but you're not reliving it. You're just accessing it. So the hippocampus will show it to you, and you allow your memory to show you whatever images it wants to show you that's connected to that unpleasant experience. Trust the process. Okay, tap really fast, tap. And look at that image and the negative words. Tap, 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 really fast. You would notice that the image is changing. That is normal because reprocessing is going on. Your memory is also trying to heal itself. Allow it. Allow it to come up. That needs to be coming up. It's pretty normal. If you want to cry, go ahead. It's all right. Okay, deal with it. This is the best opportune time for you to deal with it. Okay, tap fast, tap, tap, tap. Now, question, when will you stop? You will only stop when you see the image no longer is moving. It is already steady. The memory is not coming up with another picture because it's like you're watching a movie of your own unpleasant experience. It evolves, it develops, and then it will stop. Meaning there's nothing more to look at. So the memory had shown it all to you. That's it. And then it stops. That is the only time that you will stop tapping. But as images come up, then just continue tapping really fast. Okay, and look at the image. It's only an image. It's not happening anymore. It's only a memory. But the memory needs to let it out. The brain, also needs to be healed. Tapping, tap, 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 tap. Okay, now you will stop only when there's nothing else. There's no more movement. Okay, continue tapping, right? Continue tapping, continue tapping. Okay, by this time, perhaps if it was a minor or unpleasant, it had been reprocessed. Okay, now what do you do with D3? Let's go to D3. Let's go to D3. Over here, below D1. Now, I'd like you to draw the last image that you saw in D2. What's the last image that you saw? Please draw it there. And after you've drawn it, put the words on the left, on one side. Put the words. Put all the emotions, the feelings. Because the feelings and emotions that you're going to write down here on D3 would be different from D2, because D2 is reprocessing the negative experience. And after it had been reprocessed for D3, it's a different image. It's no longer It's no longer as painful, no longer disturbing, no longer, much less, and you're more calm. Please draw it here and write down all these maybe positive emotions that you have. You are and the sensations that you're experiencing now. Okay, give you half a minute for that. Very good. Okay, good, good, good. You have drawn it. Okay, it's much better. The sensations, emotions, positive emotions, write them down. Now we're going to tap. Okay, now close your eyes. Hug yourself again. But this time the tapping must be slow. Slow tapping. Oh, look at the image there on D3 and all. Tap, tap, tap. Very good. Tap, tap. As you tap slowly and you're looking at this image and the positive words, kindly say this aloud. It's over. It's in the past. I am safe now. And it's over. It's in the past. I am safe now. One more time. It's over. It's in the past. I am safe now. Very good. Continue tapping slowly. Look at that positive image there. Take note of the positive emotions and sensations. Continue tapping slowly. Tap slowly. Tap slowly. It's over. It's in the past. I am safe now. These are very powerful words for you. It's over. It's in the past. And I am safe now. Very good. Okay. You may now stop tapping. Open your eyes slowly. Now go to D4. Here, D4. And draw the last image that you saw. What's the last image that you saw? As you were closing your eyes and tapping slowly, savoring the positive emotions and sensations and looking at that drawing in D3. What was the last image that you saw? Please draw it. Emotions. Now, look at this drawing in the circle of the circle. Write it down here. The circle. Now, as you have written it down, I'd like you to look at the one on top. Look at the D2. Look at your level of disturbance there inside the circle and compare that with the level of disturbance down here on D4. Note the difference. Note the huge difference. See? Now, this is only a minor experience which I have asked you to come up with just so you can experience its effectivity in such a short time. I'm hopeful that the level of disturbance has been lowered, or hopefully be a zero. Being professionals as you are, following instructions faithfully, then I'm happy for you if it had gone down to zero. If not, 1 or 2, it's fine. You can continue that on your own until it goes down to zero. Very good. Okay, then. At this point, looking at the time, I would like to share with you another technique. Let us see. This is now, I hope everyone's done with IGTP. You know, you can do this to a group. You can do this one-on-one. But there's another one for children. It's much simpler. If you're interested, just let me know and I can send also an adaptation or summary form which I have prepared. Okay, now let's look at this one. Wait a second. Hey, man. Oh, wait a second. I'm looking for the oyster. There we go. Okay, here. Are you looking at this? Are you looking at this one? This is very recent. Also from EMDR practitioner Anna Gomez. She's very good at this with children. You can actually Google it, but and it's there. The whole process is there. So I'm not gonna teach this. You can just go through it. I'm sure you will be able to follow it because it's very simple, but it's very effective. And this is one of the latest. It's called, this is the story of the oyster and the butterfly and the coronavirus and me. This is how you will be able to help children understand about coronavirus and about how they feel. See, it's very beautiful. It has full of art, and the question and the way that it is delivered and the way the language is done so it can be understood by kids. I'm just going through, scrolling through it, but it is very effective. Actually, this is also very effective for teenagers and perhaps even for adults because you are all children at heart anyways, right? Okay, see? But you can just Google it. It's also there by Anna Gomez. But if you want a copy because it's already here, I can just forward it to PGCA and they can just maybe, I don't know, forward it to your email, something like that. Okay, right? So there are actually there. This is it, right? This is, of course, strategies from Dr. Francine Chapereau and mindfulness. Unfortunately, she's the founder, originator of EMDR, but she passed away June 2016. So, but her memory lives on through all these breakthrough therapies that she had already ingrained in all of us. Okay, so, Damien, can I go back now to my, okay, I'll go back now to my original PowerPoint so that, there you go. Okay, oops. Okay. Now, I hope you were able to, oh, sorry. This is the last, this is for the IGTP, and that was for, where's my last slide? Oh, anyway, because I'm with time. I hope I was able to help you in any way and you learn strategies. This is the last one that I'd like to say to you. I salute you all, health workers, guidance counselors, mental health practitioners. I really am very proud of the work that you all have been doing. And let us continue with this passion. Our reward will be in heaven. God knows God does not sleep. So salute to everyone. Thank you very much. Okay, now I will stop my sharing. There you go. So, Francis, I did it on time, didn't I? Oh, okay. Was able to finish it on time. Yes. So we can.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Lulu, for
Most
that
welcome.
very informative and inspiring talk on different techniques.
Thank you. Thank you. Most welcome.
Uh, I will, sandali lang po. I will try to look or to get some questions from our viewers right now. But for the information of everyone, our evaluation, our post-test and evaluation will start at 1 p.m. So we have already provided the post in our Facebook page, and I hope you, for our participants, again, please read the post. So wala pa po talaga yung link because it would start at
At
1
one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All fine.
Yeah, let me check first again, Doc Lulu, sa mga questions po
Mhm.
natin.
So perhaps even if they don't have a question, they can just share their experience or something.
Yes po.
Baka euphoric pa sila because of the stabilization and the processing of the memory.
Yes, yes, yes. Pinaprocess pa nila. Okay.
All right.
I think I've got a question here. Thank you very much, Doc Medina. Can I do this tapping technique in my PE subject? Fitness for life, since I recall... Oh, sana po yan. Nawala yung question ni ma'am. Well, I think, yeah. Fitness for life, since I recall to have healthy or to be healthy is what we need to have a healthy mind.
Of course, you can do the tapping. It's free. Libre yan. No? Walang side effect. As I have said, the immune system is boosted as long as you tap properly the specific memory and the emotion, you install it in the body. Then it would be good for you. Even for kids, they do the tapping. As long as you
Thank you po.
as long as you remember that if you are installing a positive emotion, working on a good memory, it has to be slow. You don't do a fast tapping, right? Just do it slow. Because if you do a fast tapping, then you must be perhaps in the presence of a counselor or a therapist because you will be processing a negative memory. But
Yes,
if,
very good. At least you have pointed it out, Doc Lulu. No? Now, siguro a disclaimer para sa ating viewers, especially those who are not counselors. Now, yes, there are some things here that you can do. However, if you venture already to processing, then you will be needing a helping or a mental health professionals to help you, because it might do more harm than good sa inyo. So again, please be reminded that if you're already venturing, yes, you can do only this as a first aid, paunang lunas lamang, but eventually you'll be needing the right professionals for this one.
Right, it's stabilization. Remember the ISP? It's immediate stabilization. The main goal is to reduce the symptoms. That's it. All right.
I'm still looking, I'm still looking for questions, Doc Medina, and well, we are very much overwhelmed by the question by the appreciation. Thank you very much, PGCA. Thank you, Doc Medina, Doc Lulu. Thank you. God bless. Yan, maraming messages sa ating YouTube chat
I
box.
see. All right. Okay.
Uh,
So,
so I'm trying to look for questions here. Ito. A good question. Are we authorized to use EMDR without proper training? Siguro, yeah, as part of presenting or letting our viewers know this aspect of EMDR po.
no, you cannot do EMDR if you have not been trained. We are doing trainings for EMDR, but as paraprofessionals for now. But these techniques are lifted from EMDR, and you can use them like just the tapping, because a lot emotional freedom technique, which is another technique, uses tapping. Somatic movement uses tapping. So it's not a sole property of EMDR, but what makes it relevant for EMDR is what you call the bilateral stimulation, because it originated there when it is fast and when it is slow, that you process a memory. But you cannot do the fast, as I have said, if there is no one there with you, right? But you can just do the tapping slowly for stabilization purposes. For stabilization purposes. But if you want to be trained in EMDR, then if PGCA would like to invite me and do a paraprofessional training, why not?
Wow.
Wow,
Well,
advertisement.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. We will see or we will talk about it,
No,
Doc Lulu. But yes, this is. That's a good idea actually. Yeah, we will look into it po. Yeah, thank you
because
so much for that.
you're welcome. Because what I just gave you is just like a taste of it, just the tapping part, but
Yes.
there's still a lot more.
A question. This is from a counselor.
Okay.
Can we use this activity for our PFA trainings? I think her context here is a mixture because she's coming from the context as a counselor.
Yeah, of course. Remember, as counselors, you have much skills. I believe in all of you. Never allow them to say you're just a counselor. Kasi may hugot talaga ako dito. No? Kasi whenever I hear that, and I said, what? You don't really know how much, academically we studied many, many years to better our craft. So we do the work, we accompany our clients. And no one should actually put us down. So you can do this, be creative. You know, this PFA and the briefing, this and that, these are structures, but like we have academic freedom, whatever you have learned, you can craft and maybe insert it in a specific timely manner, as long as you don't disrupt the protocol of the other, but you may add this in, for enhancement. So if you did it properly earlier and you experience the relief, the calmness, and the reduction of symptoms, then it will work for others because it works worldwide. It's being used. So you can just be creative.
Okay, thank you for that, Doc Lulu. Another question here when siguro from the side naman po ng mga psychologists. What about registered psychologists? Are we allowed to use this technique?
The more, of course, because you're registered, you have the license, right? For those who do not yet have licenses, even as guidance counselors, I know that Filipinos are very good at circumventing the law. Alam ko kung anong tawag sa kanila, assistant ba yun o ano yun, no? Because but you have the skills, right? And many institutions, ang daming guidance counselor, wala pa kasing license kasi dapat tapos kang MA, isn't it? And especially right now with the economics and all this lockdown and quarantine, that will be a bit difficult for you. But you are all needed. If I'm not mistaken, 60 or 70,000 guidance counselors are needed all over the country. And so you can use all the skills because this is just tapping. You're not processing anything. You're just trying to install a positive feeling, a positive emotion, so that you can calm down your client or your students. It's different if you're going to process, but if you're a licensed psychologist, you can be trained. I'm sure you've been trained, whatever training you had. I don't know what you're using as a therapy, but of course, I would really endorse and promote EMDR because it is the World Health Organization had just recently recognized it as most effective for PTSD and all other trauma-related conditions, just like CBT. Wala namang quarrel eh. Kung saan ka comfortable, and you feel like you can do it better and help others better, then do it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Doc Lulu. No?
Welcome.
Actually, I'm before in one of my webinars, I tried to explain the difference between the counselor and the psychologist
Oh,
in the
yeah,
Philippines. Yeah,
right.
and sinabi ko, yeah, what makes them actually related to each other is that both are doing counseling, or even for our psychologist psychotherapy. But of course, the difference between the two is that the counselor is focused can focus on career guidance, while the psychologists can do the diagnosis part.
Correct. I
So
am, yes, I agree with you there, Francis. Pero ako may dilemma talaga. Ang dami kong students na guidance counselors, and sa MA, UST or Saints ko, but they are in a dilemma. They have all the skills, and then, naku, baka hindi na ako imbitahin ng PGCA kasi magsabi ang ibig ko sabihin, you make this guidance counselor study, really, really study many years and have their MAs. But then you give them this, of course, there's this focus on career, right? Career development, career path. And that entails a lot of paperwork. And then you make them handle 600 or 800 students
yeah.
and then look after them. I don't know. I'm sure they're burned out or they have compassion fatigue. I pity them. No, we should actually, I think, focus on making their lives better because it depends on them. Are you going to do paperwork or are you really going to make lives matter for your students?
Wow, what a punchline, Doc Lulu. And I
Pasensya
couldn't
na.
agree more. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Actually, as part of the advocacy of the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, we are trying to reach out, especially with our legislators. Then, of course, with DepEd, we're in talagang maraming need ng counselors. But then, iba yung pananaw nila na dapat daw there are a time na gusto nilang pababain yung yung qualification standards and so on. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Diba?
yeah. And I hope that to our viewers, ito po yung ginagawa ng guidance counselors. And as I have mentioned yesterday in the Senate committee hearing, mga maselan po yung ginagawa natin because this is intangible. So you cannot see a psycho-emotional wound compared to a physical wound. So that is why it requires training, as you have said earlier. We need to study for
Yeah.
years,
Yeah,
because
correct.
yeah, this is when we deal with these intangibles. Kumbaga, you need to be trained, and not only be training lang, but rather a quality training wherein you are being supervised,
Uh-huh.
or being base yung techniques or ginagamit mo based on, I mean, research based yan.
Yeah,
I
the bottom line is we are all professionals, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
I
for
rest
that,
my
Doc Lulu.
case.
Yeah. Okay, another question, Doc Lulu, can you suggest on how to do this to the people who doesn't easily like to open up their fears and traumas? Sige po. Hindi ko alam kung saan
Not
ano yung
open to what?
kumbaga hindi siya nag-open up agad.
Okay.
Uh,
Lalong mas
uh,
ma-effective nga yung drawing eh. So those people who cannot really express themselves, but that, okay, drawing mo nga kung anong nangyari. Drawing nila. And then they can start talking about it. Actually, It is another way of expressing themselves. Or they can do a technique first, like the gestalt, right? The empty chair, or whatever it is, just to have them open up. It is a very big challenge because we have to earn the trust, because if the client does not trust you, you're not going to get anywhere. That is a very basic thing that we need to establish. So we must be trustworthy and we must be genuine. Kasi those people who come to us, if they're problematic, very sensitive sila. Nararamdaman nila, fake ba itong kaharap ko? Naintindihan ba ako nito? Tao na ito? You know? So we have to be genuine and we have to be trustworthy. That has to exude, radiate from our personality. So it will depend on us, on how what we radiate from within, and then that is felt by your client, and they will immediately trust you and easy for them to tell their story.
Yes, thank you, Doc Lulu. Another question here, very interesting. Is it expensive if you go under to counseling? Those who are those people, or yeah, people only allowed to go to undergo counseling? How we eliminate the thinking of people that when you go to counseling, they think that they're crazy. I think, Doc Lulu, another siguro angle na titingnan natin when kumbaga kasi hindi popular yung counseling, siguro your experience in United States, wherein yan the setup there is may mga example court initiated
Uh-huh.
counseling.
Mm-mm. Right. No, kasi dito sa atin yung stigma. But it is good that we already have the mental health bill, right? Na parang nabawas-bawasan na yung stigma. And it is now it is now adopted by different companies. So parang part na yun ng employment mo. So I hope it would come to that point. For example, if you're employed in a university or employed in any company, meron kang libreng 10 session sa isang taon. You know, I mean, shouldered by the company or the institution. So by doing that, it parang ang dating na ngayon sa atin, part lang pala talaga ito ng buhay ko, no? That it would come to a point that I would need counseling and or I would need psychotherapy, because it's part of it's now part of the benefits or the privilege that I have. Kaya lang, napansin ko lang kasi yung ngayon, yung mga mental health bill na yan, I think ang gumawa niya, most of them might be psychiatrists, yung mga psychologists, like, nagre-reklamo, I don't know, the guidance counselors, if we had any part on it. Kaya iba rin yung pagkaka-craft niya. But at least, meron ng simula. Di ba? Nag-start na. Para yung stigma na yan mawala. Now, the area of being expensive, mahal ba? Well, it depends on the caliber of your therapist. Like, I give an example, like for an EMDR therapist abroad, o ang charge natin doon is like for an hours, it would run from $30 to $50. See? At doon, pag sinabing isang oras, tapos na. Alis ka na. Iba dito. That's why I have a lot of clients undergoing EMDR galing sa kung saan-saan ibang lugar. Kasi it's less expensive here. At iba yung approach ng Pilipino eh. You know, we go an extra mile. So they're surprised that there's a difference. It's the same, but it's better. That's what they say. Because especially on my end, I combine Eastern and Western. So because that's how the culture is. I combine it because I combine whatever is best on one and best in the other, and then craft it on my own. But of course, I don't disrupt the protocol. So, it's not really expensive because what we are talking about is your life. Do you want to get back on track? Do you want to pursue your dreams? Do you want to be in control of your life again? Then you have to invest. That's how it really is. But at first, if you want, maging ka na lang, preventive, just take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit so that you don't have to go counseling. but one way or the other, at one point in time, because we're all wounded, we would need one. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that, Doc Lulu. Siguro ito, last question. I hope, sige, actually, the question, I can answer this, but siguro,
Sige.
pero actually, Doc Lulu, kasi every time naririnig nila ako, baka, we need na iba naman yung magsabi sa kanila. This question, Doc, can teachers do counseling? Some counselors said that only licensed counselors can do counseling. Hello, Doc. Uh, hello, Doc Lulu. Sige, while Doc Lulu is trying to get back to to her signal.
How about now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
So as I was saying, the teacher can just be there to listen and to give support, but then a shoulder to cry on, but not to give advice, because that's very dangerous. If you give advice and then they follow it and something happens to them, they will blame you. Do not give them any reason to blame you, you know. So just offer them support emotionally, a shoulder to cry on, but then always refer them. But at least you're there to listen. That's the best thing you can do.
Yes, thank you for that. At least narinig, for those na we've been with us for quite some time with this webinar, kasi it seems na ako lang yung naririnig nila, kasi that's why some, because I'm insistent because of the two laws. Kasi yung binabasihan ko dito is yung dalawang batas kung saan very clear na yung RA 9258, otherwise known as the Guidance and Counseling Act of 2004, and RA 11029 or the Psychology Act of 2009, pwedeng or counselors and psychologists are mandated. Siguro if you're a teacher na guidance counselor ka din or psychologist, then you can do. But if you're not, at saka we, as mentioned ni Dr. Lulu, we don't subscribe to advising since it is a one-way process. It seems, it seems we will be imposing po yung will natin or yung ideas natin po sa client or sa
we can just give them options, and make them decide, because it's giving them responsibility.
Okay. So, Doc Lulu, thank you so much for this one. Yeah, please hold on for a while as I'll wrap up this webinar. So, in behalf of the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, so we have also Doc Hines here. Then we have the PR board, Doc Carmen and Doc Luz, and the PGCA officers. We would like to thank you for your time and of course your expertise. And to our televiewers, thank you so much for this one. But before we end, little reminder. So please answer the post-test and evaluation. So the link po will be provided or will be given by 1 p.m. Nakapost po. Again, 1 p.m. po. Then please give us time to send your e-certificates po. We will, Doc Lulu will, after this, mag-usap po tayo. Siguro hihingi kami ng, ng slides mo and
All
we can
right.
send
I
it.
can send.
We can send it po sa ating mga
Mm.
viewers
All
or
right.
participants. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Please
Thank
take
you
note.
also for the invite.
Yes po, you're welcome po. It's our pleasure, Doc Lulu. Sa ating mga viewers, please take note. We will post if we have upcoming webinars for July. Please stay tuned. Okay? So for the past months, ito na po yung ating mga webinars. So ito po today with Doc Lulu. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, and like our social media accounts, PGCA official PGCA, and PGCA Philippine Counselor. And if you have stories, innovations, videos that would help uplift the counseling profession in the Philippines, please email pgca.socmed@gmail.com. Again, this is for social media. If you have concerns with your certificate, please email pgcacertificate@gmail.com because I've been receiving queries which I could not answer po. Okay? We would like also to thank ang ating certificates team led by Sir Dan Talusan. Then, of course, Ma'am MC Garcia, our Assistant Secretary, Sir Dan, our Secretary. Then we have our PGCA personnel, Juvie Ann De Leon and Vince Sarcon. We thank also our volunteer, Justin Joyce Bual. Then we thank yung TAMS peers, yung ating FEU, Far Eastern University peer facilitators for the graphics, posters, and certificates. Sila po yung nagde-design ng ating mga posters and certificates and the graphics. And of course, yung ating sending of certificates, this is done by our TAMS guidance team, yung ating counselors sa Far Eastern University. So with that, we'd like to thank everyone for your participation. See you at 1 o'clock for your post-test and evaluation. Have a happy lunch. Thank you so much and